hi guys, this is another indicator. So this is an EPR indicator, engine pressure ratio. So this indicator measures actually the ratio between two pressures, the output pressure divided by the input pressure of the compressor. So this value gives an idea of the thrust of the engine. So on the front of the instrument we have two indications, one analog indication from 1 to 8 approximately, and a digital indication. So on the rear of this instrument we have a connector as usual, so we can see some information on it. So this is a long instrument, approximately 10 inches. This thing is a bit damaged. You can see that this thing is bent in this area here. You can see, so this will be difficult. So this will prevent the removing of the cover. I don't know how I will proceed to remove the enclosure here, but it will be difficult. So there is a date here, 1977, probably the date of fabrication of this unit. Okay, so let's open this thing to see what is inside. So let's try to open this thing because it is not obvious. This will be very difficult. I don't know how I will proceed to remove this thing. Okay, so I have drilled 2 holes on both sides of this thing. But we can see that it seems that there is a PCB inside. Maybe it is difficult to see with the camera, but it seems that there is a PCB just here. It seems there is something here, so this is dangerous, and there is maybe a PCB. So this is very difficult. It is better, but I'm not sure it is enough to remove this thing. I think I will have to destroy the enclosure, as I did in a previous instrument several months ago. You can see that we have a flex cable, so it was dangerous to apply a screwdriver on this side. I hope I didn't destroy anything. So let's take a look on this thing. So it seems that this is a galvanometer, I'm not sure. So there are two micro switches here, which can be activated using a screwdriver. So this is done by this eccentric rod here. There is a transformer here between the electronic side and the mechanical stuff. So there are also two lamps here, and there are 5 electronic boards. And we have a very nice ICs here, you can see. I have never seen this package. It seems that this first board is the power supply. There are several electrochemical capacitors, some diodes, and some transistors here. 2N2905. This is a coil. So there is maybe a switch mode power supply on this thing. So we have a classic 7041. So this is the MC1712 from Motorola. I don't know. So the dead code is 78. So this is another 741. So this is a transistor 2N2193. This is a nice construction. So we can see in details every board. Okay, so this is the first board. It seems that in this area there was some very high heat dissipation. I'm not sure, but the color of the PCB is very strange on this area here and also on this one. It seems that all parts are normal. That's very strange. You can see this very strange. And here also. So this is the second board. There are very few parts on this board. So this is a very special IC with an obscure reference I have never seen. And this one also. This is the third one. So you have two parts with the same round package here. I don't know if they are the same, it seems. The reference is identical. This part also. So the dead code is 93. So here there is a classic logic gates, NAND gates. So this thing has been repaired. So the crystal has a very specific frequency, 673.814 kilohertz, if I read correctly. It's difficult to read. Maybe you can see on the camera. Not sure if it can focus. Okay, this board is more classic. You have some logic gates here. 54176, I don't know. So this is an S8822. One more 5400, and we have classic op-amps 741. We have 3 of them here, and the last one is very simple. I don't need to remove it. This is the power supply. I would like to know what is the system to rotate the needle, if it is a kind of galvanometer or if there is a motor and a potentiometer for the feedback, but it is difficult to see. So this seems to be a power supply board, obviously. So I would like to find the input voltage 115 volts on the rear connector. For that purpose, it can be interesting to find the secondary winding of the transformer and to apply a low voltage on the secondary and try to find a voltage close to 100 volts on the rear connector. Now we can see also that there are different cutouts here depending on the board. So it is not possible to invert different boards, but normally this one is here. Then there was this one. This one. Okay, and the last one here. Okay, so I will apply an AC voltage on one secondary side of this transformer, and we will see. Okay, so for the moment there is a voltage of 5 volts RMS. I will increase this voltage. Okay, fine. So this is a voltage of 26 volts. I have soldered 2 wires on the secondary side of this transformer. Then I will turn on the power supply. Okay. It can be interesting to find also a voltage of 115 volts AC on the rear connector. Okay, so I found a voltage of 75 volts. So it should be this one. I will check with the ohm meter. Okay, it is probably this one. So that means that the AC voltage is not large enough because we have a little bit more than 50% with 74 volts, 75. Okay, we have 95 volts now, so this should be okay. So now I am a little bit stuck. I don't know what to do to deploy something. It is difficult, and I don't know what kind of signal should be applied at the input of this thing. So it can be interesting maybe to do the reverse at least of this board. So this will be done maybe on a future video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.